Salim, and welcome to episode number 14 of the Life Review Podcast. I am your host, Indra Ali. I'd like to welcome everyone that's watching this content live. Welcome, peace to everybody that's watching this on the playback. In the chat room, go ahead and shout yourself out. Tell me where you're from. Put your city and state. Let me know where you're from. Get the energy popping. As always, like I said, I could record this thing premeditated, like before doing it live or whatever, but I like to get the energy of the people. You feel me? So love doing these broadcasts live in the flesh. So let's get into the intro and then we'll get into today's program. I know. All right, we back. I appreciate everybody for letting me know where you're from in the chat. If you coming in, make sure to put in your city and state where you're located at to let me know what you got cracking. All right, it's another beautiful Sunday in the 513. Shout out to everybody in Ohio. It's probably about to be 50-something degrees today, which is another warm day. See Duval, Jacksonville, Las Vegas, one of my favorite spots in the country. Portsmouth, shout out to Kenneth, Montgomery, Alabama, Philly in the building. Ooh, Philly, Super Bowl city. Atlanta, ATL, what up, Jackie? Laurel, Mississippi, I see you. Queens, New York in the building. Wild Peach, Texas. All right, peace to you, Amira. Baltimore live in Dominican Republic on Puerto Rico. What? Yo, that's a lot. Nicole T wanted Tallahassee in here. Brick City, New York, New Jersey. Shout out to my New Jersey people. Ill name too, Shaman 05 line. NC in the building. What up, Shanika? Niagara Falls, New York in the building. All right, I see y'all. We out here. Did I miss anybody? Washington, I'm seeing you too. So what up? All right. So every week I broadcast at the same time, same place, Sunday, 11 a.m. Eastern. You could just search my name on YouTube, Indra Ali, or if you're subscribed, you should get a notification if you click the bell or whatever. Every week the program is set up the same way. I present to you some affirmation for you to meditate on and put it information. Then, but by request of the people, make sure to come through live. I do 101 mini consultations, or you can come through and just holler at me. If you want to come through live on the broadcast today, make sure to email us at thelifereviewpodcast@gmail.com. You'll receive a link that you can click on. You can join me live on this broadcast. I encourage you to do so ASAP too, to let me know that I do have some people in the queue. Once again, thelifereviewpodcast@gmail.com. If you want to join me, speak to me live, you have something you're going on in your life, or you just want to share something with me. Third part of the program, which we didn't get to last week, is I do quick answers, quick Q&A. You post a question in the comment section. I answer it to the best of my ability. Rapid fire, just things in general, things that dealing with metaphysics, things dealing with the occult, just anything general like that. Post it in the chat and I answer it. That's the third part of the segment. So today's topic is because, while I sip my little green juice. Because. And I'm going to start out with a story. I'm gonna start out with a little story, a little quick share. And let's just call this person Bo. Let's just say this individual's name is Bo. Well, I know somebody named Bo, not real close to him. We not A1s, or you know what I'm saying? I ain't grow up in the mud from him. We ain't from the sandbox. But just I know this person named Bo. Bo just got out from serving, let's say, a 7-year bid in prison. Been locked up for 7 years. All throughout his adult life, he's been in and out of the system. And this story is relatable because I know everyone knows somebody who is in and out of the system. They just can't, quote unquote, get their act right. So this person, Bo, his recent bid was 7 years. Prior to that, I think he did 1-2 years here and there, but nothing substantial like that. And mind you, dude's probably in his, I would say 30s or whatever, something like that. So he's mad young. In the scope of reality, he's a very young man, melanated young man. So Bo did a 7-year stretch, just recently got out. And let's just say that he was in there for drug trafficking. Let's just say that. Not sure if it's true or not, doesn't matter. Let's just say he was in there for drug trafficking. So on the surface level, when you view Bo's life, you'll be like, okay, he was selling drugs, selling narcotics, he's a street pharmacist and stuff like that. And he's doing that to make money. You know what I'm saying? If you're from the environment, from the neighborhood, or you are familiar with that struggle, you know, a lot of cats, they doing so-called quote unquote illegal things because they trying to make ends meet. They don't have any opportunity. Like if you look at most ghettos, most neighborhoods, there aren't a plethora of jobs. You feel me? There's a corner store, there's usually liquor stores, check cashing places. There's not a plethora of jobs. I'm not saying that's an excuse. I'm just calling a spade and calling reality the way it is. Most impoverished environments and so-called ghettos do not have a plethora of jobs available. Okay. So when a person is choosing a life to sell drugs, especially hard drugs, to their community, is usually they're in a predicament where they're trying to make ends meet. So let's just say Bo is just trying to get the bag and make ends meet, to live, has no education, has no really rites of passage, doesn't have any mentors and stuff like that. All he knows is streets. All he knows is street people. So he's going to follow in the footsteps of people that he's around. So on the surface level, you'll say, okay, simple. Dude need to make money. He needs to raise his family and stuff like that. But if you look at it on a deeper level, why is he in that predicament? Okay, I know of Bo, and he didn't grow up with, let's just say, a lovely household. He didn't have a mom and dad at the crib. He didn't have anybody kicking information, kicking knowledge to him. He didn't have any big homies that were quote unquote positive. So he chose the life of quote unquote crime. You feel me? So because he didn't have a structure, a family structure, because he didn't have any male role models, because his father wasn't in his life, it put him behind the 8 ball. So you can say that he did a 7-year stretch, not because he needed money. That's on the surface level. He did a 7-year stretch because he didn't have a father in his life, and he didn't have anybody check him. I've seen him around his father a couple of times, and you can tell, you know, even back then I had a sixth sense, a psychic ability. And I can see very clearly that he was trying to have his father look at him like a son. I can see very clearly that he was looking for somebody to pat him on the back. I can see very clearly that he was looking for somebody to hem him up and tighten him up when he fell short. And because he didn't have that man, that positive role model in his life, he fell victim to the streets. The streets took him in. So the reason why he was in prison for 7 years, it had nothing to do with drug dealing. It had nothing to do with making money. The true reason he was in there because he didn't have a male figure, a dominant male figure, a dominant role model to tighten him up and have his support. Somebody that he can look up to. He didn't have that. So he fell victim to the streets. A lot of people that you know who are in a system and institutionalized by way of that, they usually don't have any positive role models. I'm not saying all of them, but for the most part, if you talk to many men that look like me that did any kind of stretch, they'll tell you they ain't have any father figures, nobody to look up to, no role models. So because he didn't have a father in his life, and he knew his father, but he didn't know his father. He knew his father, but he didn't know his father. Because he didn't have a positive role model, he fell victim to the streets. And that's the reason why he was in prison and did a 7-year stretch. So let's go a little bit deeper. Why did he choose his path? We'll look and be like, we in the metaphysical and the spiritual community, we understand that we choose our path before we incarnate. If you're new on the path, that this may be a new concept to you. Most people would agree that prior to incarnating or coming to earth, we actually choose our parents, we choose our father, we choose our occupations, we choose our lifestyle, we choose a lot of things. All this stuff is pre-written. I'm not saying you can't edit the script a little bit, but a lot of things that especially the big things, the people in your life and stuff like that, all that stuff is preordained, it's prearranged. It's all dealing with fate and destiny. So why would he choose a path where he knew he was going to be in prison on a soul level? He knew he wasn't going to have a father. He knew he was going to be away from his children. Why would he choose a path like that? And that comes back to reviewing your life on an everyday basis. One of his purposes in this life, you know, just looking on the outside looking in, is to somehow come out of this thing as a man learning certain life lessons. And it's difficult. The life lesson he probably came here to learn was independence, being honest, integrity, stuff like that. And is when you set up your life in a way where you don't have that, and you have to learn it a different way. He wasn't going to learn it from a father in his life. Another way of looking at this thing called because, which is taken from cause and effect of universal law, you can look at as karma. Because he set up his life in a way that he had to come here and learn the lessons of independence, integrity, honesty, stuff like that. He probably set it up where he didn't have a father and he had to learn it a different way. I can guarantee you he's either going to come out of prison a better man or he's going to come off worse than what it was. And if you keep doing the same things over and over and over and over, that means you haven't learned a lesson. There's people that come out of prison and they learn the lesson and they get on the straight and narrow. You feel me? Like I know somebody is a popular YouTuber dealing in the fitness industry. He beat a case and that woke him up. He was like, you know what? I don't want to choose that life. I'm going to start doing this. And he became one of the more famous people dealing with fitness. There are certain people who they get in prison, they come out and they just start doing the same thing over and over and over. We know people like that because they haven't learned their life lesson in that regard. So when you look at it, the way I want you to take this is look at something that's going on in your life right now. Take anything that's going on in your life right now, something that's very pronounced, something that you think about on an everyday basis. It could be being at a dead-end job. It could be you feel like you're not growing spiritually. It could be you're not in a loving relationship, or you're in a relationship that you feel like you're not fulfilled in or something like that. It could be thoughts of being a better parent. Think about something that's going on in your life. Now next thing I want you to do is, why is that situation going on? So let's take not growing spiritually. Let's just use that. That's probably one that's going to resonate with a lot of people. Why are you not growing spiritually? And the answer could pop up. I'm not meditating as much. I feel like I need to meditate more, but I'm not meditating. So you keep asking yourself, why? Why am I not meditating? Because I feel like I don't have enough time. Why don't you have enough time? Because I go to work 8 hours and I have to take care of my children and I need some alone time and I'm on social media. Why? You know what I mean? You keep asking yourself, why do you're going to take care of your children. You're going to get your job. Maybe you have to sacrifice a little alone time, and maybe you have to cut off social media a little bit. So when you keep asking yourself why, because, why am I doing this? Why am I doing that? You're going to come up with an answer where you can control. It's always going to come back to something that is within your control. If it's not within your control, then you haven't done the exercise right. So take something that's going on in your life and ask yourself, why? Why is this happening? Why is this materializing in my life? And keep asking yourself why, and why. You'll get to the point where you be like, you know what? That's something I can change. But without doing that, if you look at things on the surface level, you'll always keep doing the same thing because you're not evaluating it. Once again, the reason why this show exists is to help you question your life right now. Review your life now. Am I fulfilling my purposes? Am I learning my life lesson? Am I overcoming my spiritual blocks? You continually ask yourself those questions. Take something that's going on in your life and ask yourself why. Then eventually you'll come up with an answer. Everything in your life could be broken down into this way. But because most people don't evaluate it, they just go through the motions or whatever. So if that makes sense, press 9 in the chat box. That makes sense, press 9 in the chat box. For a point of reference, I want you to look up the universal law, the law of cause and effect. Simple quote right here: the law of cause and effect is a universal law which specifically states that every single action in the universe produces a reaction no matter what. Every single effect within our world upon our earth has a cause, an original starting point. So we're dealing with cause and effect. In science, it's called every action has an opposite and equal reaction. In spirituality, it's called karma. Everything has a cause and effect. If I come and punch you in the nose, you know what I'm saying? Your nose will bleed. What was the cause? The punch. But if you keep evaluating, why did I punch you? You might have stepped in my face and threatened me. So everything has a cause and effect. What most humans do, I promise you, what most humans do is they look at the effect. They look at what's going on and they be like, man, I don't deserve this. Man, I don't deserve it. I know somebody right now, he's a young person and he always feels like he doesn't deserve something. Why did you do this to me? I didn't deserve it. I didn't deserve it. But never evaluate, what did he do? What part did he play in it? We all know people like that. Now, if they're children, we can give them a pass. But when adults do it, then you get it how you live. You feel me? So take something like that, anything in your life, and say, why is this happening? Why is this going through? What? Because this happens or whatever. The quote by Steve Jobs: you can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards. Famous quote by Steve Jobs. Peace and blessings be upon him. But I would challenge that line of thinking. You can connect the dots moving forward. The next dot is what you're doing now. If you're not doing anything, then your next dot is going to be nothing. But say that you change one thing in your reality. Say you change meditating. Let's use that for example. You start meditating every day right now. Then it's predictable what is going to happen after a month of meditating on an everyday basis. Like, it's predictable. You can connect the dots, even if the dots aren't there. You meditate every day, more than likely, you're going to be more peaceful. You're going to be more calm. Your aura is going to be brighter. Your intuition is going to be more pronounced. You feel me? All these things are predictable. So don't let people tell you that you can't predict the future. You can predict the future by determining what are you doing right now. So if you want to start a business and you're not doing anything outside of your 9 to 5, then don't think you're going to start a business after so long. You know what I'm saying? That's stupid to think like that. So think about something that's going on. Always get down to the root cause. That's another way of describing it. Getting down to the root problem, and that's going to help you evolve on your spiritual path. So hopefully that makes sense. Go ahead and email us if you want to join me live, the Life Review Podcast @gmail.com, and put your question in there. Even if you want to come through and holler at me, just put your question or what you want to come on for, and you will get a link to join us ASAP. Real quick before I take my break, reminder, if you want to join me for the Ohio Earth Mounds tour in April, late April, I'm taking a group of people to 3 specific locations in Ohio. One being the Serpent Mound, another one being the Miamisburg Mound in Fort Ancient. We're going to do rituals at 2 of them. One ritual for consciousness, to raise your consciousness. Another ritual to help you healing different parts of your life that need to be healed. Make sure that we'll do that. We'll tap into that. Every mound, every sacred site has a specific energy to it. You have psychic ability. If you know what you're doing around those parts, you can tap in and feel what it is. Serpent Mound has the energy of enlightenment. The Miamisburg Mound has the energy of healing. So if you want to tap into that, you can find your local mound, go in there and tap into it, or you can join us in Ohio, or I suggest you do both. When back in the day, we started taking groups to the Miamisburg Mound specifically. And what I noticed was people are tapping into different parts of themselves. I've seen people grow and evolve from that interaction. And I also seen people that kind of devolve from that action, Because when you mess with spiritual energy, if your heart's not pure, you don't have a clear intent, then that energy can mess you up. You know what I'm saying? Anybody telling you otherwise, they don't know what they're talking about. But if you go in the right intention, you know what to do, you can tap into the energy of any mound or any sacred site in its entirety. I remember there was an episode, I want to say, I don't believe it was on Ancient Aliens, but it was a certain documentary where they were talking about how a lot of these sacred sites, we think they're all holy and mighty and all that stuff, but every site has a certain energy about it. And there have been people that when they visit these sites, they either reach instant enlightenment, spontaneous healing, or they had, for lack of better words, they went backwards. They had some sort of regression or whatever. It's because every site has a particular energy to it. Every place on the globe has a certain energy. Don't believe that. Look up something called ley lines and telluric energy, Telluric. Those all things, those are dealing with the earth's chakra. So chakras, you know, can spin and be balanced, or they can spin and be imbalanced. That's the same thing with earth. There are places on earth where it's balanced, places on earth where there's imbalance, quote unquote negative energy, quote unquote positive energy. But once again, you know what you're doing. You have the right intent, and you have the certain tools that you can tap into the energy. Ohio Earth Mound Tour, you don't want to miss that if you want to be a part of history. First one, I'm not sure if I do another one, but IndraAli.com, click on Ohio Earth Mounds Tour. And I believe we have 4 VIPs left, so make sure to tap in ASAP if you want to join us. All right, so let me take a quick break, and I'll come back. If we have anybody in the queue, I'll bring them on. Otherwise, we'll start answering some questions from the chat. Be back at one momento. All right, we back. Indra Ali back in the building. All right, we had some people email us, but they haven't clicked on the link. So make sure to click on the link if you want to come through and holler at me. All right. I seen a person in chat. I guess when I was talking about every spot in the hood, I failed to mention the churches. Mad churches in the community as well, yo. Mad churches on every damn corner. C. Diggs, Christine Diggs, shout out to her. So once again, it's predictable when you have check cashing spots, liquor stores, corner stores, and churches. That's predictable what you're gonna kind of get. You know what I'm saying? Still not an excuse, but it's still, I mean, it's part of that reality. And there's a reason why it's set up that way. Once again, it's not a conspiracy if it's true. But we do have somebody want to come on here and holler at me. So Bringing you on right now. Holistic great grandmother.
Greetings.
What up? What up? How you doing? Yo, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, I sure can. Welcome.
I've got a big delay going on, so you may have to mute me at some junction.
Okay. Go ahead and speak what you calling in for today.
There's a delay. Yes, my question is this. I heard a friend of mine indicated that she didn't have any children, and that was due to having 4 miscarriages. And so immediately after she said it, my spirit said, but you do have children. Excuse me. And I don't know, and I don't understand why I said that. So my question is, where are the miscarried spirits? Where are they?
Okay, very interesting question. I'm gonna go ahead and mute you and answer it. Okay, whenever you have miscarriages, abortions, that energy does go somewhere. A lot of times those souls chose to come here. For one thing, back to what I was saying earlier, every soul chooses to come here. It can be for a short period of time, it can be for no period of time, or it can be for a very long time. But if a person experiences miscarriages, then that soul and those children, they exist somewhere. For lack of better words, let's call it the ethers. Some of these souls had intent on being born, but something happened, and they could have a chaotic, they could be in, I don't want to use chaos because that word has a negative, they could be confused in the ether. So imagine you choose to go somewhere. Imagine you choose to go into your living room, but you get into your living room and you don't recognize your living room and you feel kind of lost. That's the same thing when a soul choose to incarnate, but they get aborted or there's a miscarriage or something like that. They thought they were in one room or going to one room, but they end up being somewhere where they end up lost. You feel me? That makes sense. So a lot of times these souls are confused. Think about the movie Poltergeist. When Carol Ann, you know what I'm saying? Carol Ann, when she went into the light or when she went into the ethers or the spirit realm, she was lost. She said, I don't know where I'm at. I'm confused. I don't know where I'm at. I'm scared or whatever and whatnot. And she had to be guided back. So one of the things you can do is if you didn't give that unborn child a name, give that unborn child a name. Give it a name and speak to it like it's a regular person. Speak to it like it's a regular person. Just the way you're speaking to me or speaking to someone in the flesh, speak to that baby, that aborted baby or that miscarriage baby. Speak to them and tell them you're not here in this reality. It's time to go back to where you need to go to. Speak to them and direct them where they need to go. You know what I'm saying? If you need something to focus on, light a candle and talk to that candle as if you're speaking to that soul of that child and direct them. You need to go to the afterlife. You need to go back to the heavens. You need to go back, however you want to word it, but tell them they need to go back to where they need to go. Eventually, you will feel the energy off you because that soul is lost. It may be attracting and still around you. You may feel weighed down, or you may feel bogged down or confused or something like that. A lot of times that's the spirit that has attached to you or a spirit that's very close to you that's confused, especially if you're empathic. When you're empathic, you feel things that aren't yours. For the empaths in the building, I'm sure you go into a room, if the room is very, let's say, anxious, you'll go into the room and you'll have some form of anxiety because we feel that, especially you empaths or whatever. So for aborted souls, miscarriage souls, speak to the spirit of that child as if they're living and tell them where they need to go. That's a quick something I can tell you real quick that you can deal with. You probably told her she has children because she does have children in a sense. Just because you don't have them in the flesh doesn't mean she don't have them in spirit. And you're probably picking up that those children's souls were around her. That's what I would assume, just speaking to you that brief time. All right. So I'm gonna bring on the next person. We have one more person want to come holler at me. That's not a spook boo. Okay, Amira, you're alive in the building. Welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I am very nervous. I'm nervous.
You should be. No, I'm just playing.
First, I want to thank you very much. I know you say you don't need kudos and thanks and all of that stuff, but I've been watching a lot of your YouTube videos for almost a year now. And I have grown spiritually like so very much. And so I want to say thank you for that.
You're welcome.
But I'm coming on to get a mini consultation if I can.
You sure can. You're here and I'm here. So what's going on with you?
Well, first of all, per one of your most recent emails about doing something that's uncomfortable, this is definitely uncomfortable for me because I do not like the camera. So I feel like that's one thing that I'm doing that is going to help me, because I'm hoping you can help me. But one of the questions or things that I struggle with is, I remember you saying that we all have a spiritual gift, whether it's teaching, counseling, or healing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm at an impasse. I really don't know what my spiritual gift is. And that's a struggle for me.
Okay. Well, if you don't know what your spiritual gift is, then your job is to find out what your spiritual gift is. Okay. So the question I'm going to ask you is, what is most pressing on your spirit that you're being guided to do? Whatever you receive affirmations about, signs, synchronicities, messages, what have been placed on your path that you know you should be doing?
I'm drawn to, I feel compelled towards healing for some reason. And that's just it. I guess, I don't know, maybe I'm looking for confirmation because I'm a little confused about that. I don't know, but for whatever reason, that's what I'm drawn to, but I don't know what to do with that. I don't know what the next step is. I don't know. I just don't know.
What do you feel like needs healing?
Not not so much that I feel like something needs healing, but I feel like there's something that I can do to help others. I don't know how to explain it. Sometimes, I have a hard time conveying my thoughts, or finding the words, but
you conveyed them. You conveyed them perfectly.
Okay.
You conveyed them. Remember, less is more. Just state the question. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You said the answer, then you started thinking. Just say the answer.
Well, it's not so much that I feel like there's something that needs healing, I guess. But I just feel like that's something that I want to do, is to help people, I guess, when it comes to something of that nature, okay. I feel like I'm drawn to those types of things, but I don't know what to do with that.
Gotcha. Most healers that help people heal usually help them heal from things that they healed from.
Okay.
So my next question is, what have you healed from?
Yeesh. I don't know how to answer that.
Answer it truthfully.
I'm trying to help myself, but I don't know how to answer that. I don't know how to, I'm sure I could say that I've been through a lot, but so is everyone else. Everyone else has been through, ups and downs and trials and tribulations, and so so have I. But I don't know how to answer that question.
Okay, well, I would challenge you to answer that question in very simple words. Like when I ask you that question, it should be a simple statement. Well, I healed myself from a toxic relationship, or I healed myself from a you know, a childhood that wasn't favorable. I healed myself from alcohol addiction. I healed, you know what I mean? I healed myself from rape and trauma. It should be a very simple answer. So I want you to meditate on what?
Those, I think I do have answers for that, but it's pretty sensitive.
So you don't have to answer it here. I wouldn't want you to. So that's why I'm about to give you some homework to do off camera.
Let me get my pen. Okay.
Ask yourself, what have I healed myself from? Okay. Ask yourself, how did I heal myself from it? And that should introduce you to certain modality, technique, etc. Why people get into Reiki is because they had a Reiki session that helped them. Why people get into crystal healing? Because they had a crystal healing session that helped them. Why did people get an acupuncture? Because they had an acupuncture session that helped them. You feel me? They get into something that they receive the benefits from. I went to a 12-step program, got off alcohol, so now I promote 12-step programs.
Right. It's funny you mentioned the Reiki, because I feel compelled, and I don't know anything about it. I don't know nothing about it, but I feel drawn to massage, something with my hands.
Then go that route. That's what I'm saying. Wherever you feel or drawn or pulled or guided, that's where you start. Doesn't mean that you're going to finish there or become you know what I mean, a master masseuse or anything like that. You can start massage class and get introduced to something else that resonates more. But the way I describe it is, you see a door, you walk through it. You go to that door, there's a room. You explore what's in that room, then there's usually another door. And you just keep opening doors until there are no more doors. And that's when you knew you met to reach the place. When you see no more doors. When where you are is like, I don't want to leave this room. That's when you know you've made it. Make sense?
Yes. Perfect sense.
There it is. There it is then. So you're welcome to come back and share your journey once you do some more self-discovery.
Thank you.
Very welcome. Very welcome. Peace. See, nice and simple and easy, y'all. Nice and simple and easy. All right, do we have anyone else that want to come through and holler at me? If not, let's go ahead and post some questions in the chat. So let's do both. Post some questions in the chat, and if you want to come holler at me, email us at thelifereviewpodcast@gmail.com. You got something to say, Saran? Come on and say it then. Bougie Spook Boo. That's an inside joke for my accelerator members. All right. Mo, about to bring you on. Welcome, welcome.
Hey.
What up?
Nothing. Just chilling and stuff. But I'm in a spot right now where I feel like I'm just a little bit having a hard time making decisions. And I feel like I'm not supposed to that much, because I'm going through like a little bit of healing from like breakup and like trying to go into this new spot in my life where like I'm branching off and by myself. So it's like I feel like I have a lot of decisions or like a lot of things weighing on me, but it's kind of hard to hear myself a little bit. So do you have like tips of like centering yourself or like, you know, hearing those decisions wisely?
Yeah, when you said that, what I immediately seen was you taking deep breaths and focusing on your heart.
Okay.
So if you study like breath work and stuff like that, there's different breaths. That's why people say the breath of fire, the 8 breaths. There's all these different breaths. Nostril, rotating nostril, because each breath will evoke a certain reaction into your circulatory system, into your nervous system, et cetera, et cetera. Not to get too nerdy, but every breath different chakras and different aspects of you. That's why you can take deep breaths and calm down. That's why when you're upset, you like when you're mad, you but when you're relaxed, you're when you're in a fight, when you're having sex, when you're at peace, those are all different breaths that you have. So you can trick your system by doing a certain breath. So immediately what I've seen is you breathing through the heart. The heart is the center chakra. The breath is a way to connect to your spirit. That's why spirit, another name for spirit, is breath. So I would do that. Breathe through your heart. Just simply breathe through your nostrils. Focus on your heart like you're putting air in there, and breathe out through your mouth. That'll help you center yourself. That'll help you center yourself. But real quick, because you are one of you know what I'm saying? You are one of our shiny accelerator members. You know what I'm saying? And we do a monthly member-to-member practice readings. And I can sit on here for sure without any kind of trepidation and say that Monique is one of those ones that have came out and evolved. She's mad young. You like 21 or something like that?
22. I'll be 23 this year.
You know, she's mad young. When she first came into the community, she was like a baby. You know what I mean? Full disclosure, I worked with her in a mentor-mentee session for probably about a few months or something like that. See her grow and evolve to the spot where she's worked on herself and got to a point where she can help people, and she's tapped in that one way. So Mo has been the last few member-to-member practice readings. She's been bodying them, helping people, you know, psychically and stuff like that. So if you want to share your information, you know what I'm saying, so people can hit you up. Because I don't recommend just anybody. If I recommend somebody, he tapped in that one way. Like Mo tapped in. So
yeah, no, thank you. I definitely appreciate that. The family, the spiritual accelerator group has definitely helped me having a tribe to come and go to on a consistent basis and practice my gifts and be able to share those things. Like the metaphysical world is real hard for people my age to find people like me that's on this path. But yeah, if you guys want a reading, come on and hit me up at Mo the Oracle on Instagram, Monique Mosaic on Instagram and Facebook. So yeah, I'll drop it in the chat too.
Yeah, drop it in the chat.
Okay, I will. I appreciate that.
Yep. And she chose the name for my other accelerator members, Mo the Oracle. We coined that. We coined that the last webcast. It was like, I coined that. It was like Mo the Oracle.
Yeah, I was like, check.
I want my royalty check for that. You feel me? Getting my royalties, yo. At least $5.
I got you on your $5.
I'm messing with you. No, that's peace. All right, Mo.
All
peace
right.
to the God. David Emmanuel, for the mound trip, go to indraali.com and click on Ohio Earth Mounds. And reminder to people who already signed up, if you want to get the group hotel rate, make sure to do that. You have to do it at least 1 month in advance. So, or you have to do it by March 29th, I believe. The email is on there. But make sure you copy your hotel at that discounted rate. All right. And Mo, put your information in the chat. All right, Saran, about to bring you on. Miss Bougie Spook Boo. What up?
I cannot with you right now today.
Bougie Spook Boo.
What's up? I don't have anything. I just wanted to tap in. I really liked that the young lady who came in and talked about healing. And I was saying in the chat that, you know, going through your journey, that's the journey we don't realize helps other people, because we think everything's common, but it really isn't. So, but, you know, I watch all the time. We talk all the time in the accelerator. So I figured I'd just tap in today since I was sitting here at my computer instead of walking around with the phone. I guess I could share something because I know the accelerator community has been powerful for me. Even like the lady, she said she watched you for a year, and I watched for a year, and then I joined the accelerator, and it made an even different level of difference, because now I'm connected to other people who are really on the journey and who are super supportive. And I don't even know how I got this new virtual family, but they're amazing. And so
I know how, because you're active, yo. You don't sit on the sidelines. You're not shy. You know what I'm saying? You help people and you seek help. You know what I'm saying? That's what a community is. So I know how.
Yeah, and I see Jazz calling me out, and it's okay. They call me the Bougie Spook Boo because I'm super spooky. But I don't care. I go and do stuff anyway. I'll be the scary one in the building. Like, I'm gonna make it happen. I'm gonna just do this. But that was one of the things that I know I told you all on the accelerator. Was it last week we were talking? Some of my healing journey, most of my healing has been inner child work, just because of different parenting styles. And, you know, you talked about the hood, living up on the other side of the tracks as a kid, out of my control. Even though I chose this path, I think that's the biggest part that helps me is that, okay, you chose this. So why did you choose it? What is the lesson you're trying to teach yourself? How are you trying to, so how do you fix it now as an adult? So, but it's been amazing growth. And I just wanted to just come on and shout out the accelerator crew, because I don't usually have questions, because you trained us to ask ourselves the questions and go within. So I force myself to do that all the time. And I get real answers real time from my spirit that I don't have to really look outside of anybody else for anything.
Powerful, yo. And I think, I know, especially within the community, I say it all the time, like you know, this is a way of describing enlightenment, yo. Enlightenment is when you no longer have questions. One a simple definition of enlightenment, you've become the enlightened one or the awakened one when you don't have any questions. And I remember first meeting you, how inquisitive you were, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it shows where you are. But now seeing you grow and evolve, working yourself, seeing the up and downs, because we've been connected now for, I don't know, you know, I'm not good with linear time, but you've been in
I think it's been like a year and a half-ish.
Okay, and I've met you a couple of times. I've seen you at the retreat, gonna be at the Mound tour or whatever. So just seeing you grow and evolve is, I see the lack of, you know what I mean, confusion or whatever, more confidence, spiritual confidence or whatever. That's one thing I'm seeing a lot more amongst the people I work with and see all the time, spiritual confidence. So you can come on here and share anytime. I put your stuff in there, saran10k.com. Make sure to come holler at her if you want that bag. You feel me? And
well, I'll see y'all later.
I'll see you later.
Y'all at 7, and then
the magic group. I'll be through. I'll be through today for sure.
All right, peace.
Yep, peace. That's another thing with this seller. We have a magic group. There's certain things on the page I don't even promote like that, because I don't want to sell people on it. We want genuine people part of the accelerator. And shout out to your spiritual HC. She's about to have the first accelerator baby. You know what I'm saying? She's what they call carrying the baby. All right. So let's go ahead, babe, and get some questions popping. So put your questions in the chat. Put your questions in the chat. Oh, what up? What up? God is right. I see you. I will see you later. I know who you are. Okay. Question: what is the meaning behind the candle lit on my altar for my father and uncle turning dark black on a glass container? I lit with white candle, but only one turned black at the top. What is the meaning behind the candle lit on my altar for my father and uncle turning dark black on a glass container? I lit with white candles, but only one turned black at the top. I would do it again, because everything, especially when you have an anomaly or something that doesn't usually occur, it could be something as simple as a hello message, or it could be something like we need help or something like that. So what I would do is I would set up that same thing and see if it happens again. If it don't happen again, then it was an outlier. If it happens again, then I would go either into meditation, or if you remember your dreams, before you fall asleep with that question on your mind. What do you need? Like, literally see your father and uncle in your mind as you transition to sleep, asking them, what do you need? What do you need? What do you need? Let that be the last theme after you fall asleep, before you transition to sleep. That's the whole difference. Don't fall asleep, transition to sleep. Ask yourself those questions and get your answer that way. So either meditate on it or ask yourself before you go to sleep. But I would set it up again to see if it happened once again that same way. That'd be my answer for that. Yo, Kenneth Cooper, dream incubation, something I've been teaching for years, yo. Dream incubation. All right, what else? What else, yo? Any other questions? Y'all know my drill, man. If I don't have any questions, I don't have anybody want to come holler at me. I ain't got nothing to say. You feel what I'm talking about? Mo, you ain't coming to Ohio. You scared. Link to the accelerator, spiritualaccelerator.com. Make sure to read all the information. Just don't go there and join. Make sure to read all the information. If it resonates with you, then come through. If not, don't. Simple as that. And shout out to my new accelerator members too. Oh, it's down to 3 spots for the VIP. I thought it was 4. It might be 3. I'm not sure. I don't know what you're scared of. Okay. Yeah, you talking crunchy. You did move to Cali by yourself. Pardon self, yo. Okay, I don't have any more questions. I don't have anybody else that want to come through. Okay. All right, so that's what it is. That's what it is. Remember, L9shop.com, EL9shop.com. That is our metaphysical superstore, or metaphysical, not a superstore anymore, but when we focus mainly on things that we create or hard to find stuff. So L9shop.com, EL9shop.com. Remember to go to IndraAli.com if you want to join us for the Ohio Earth Mound Tour. Go there, read about it, click on it. If it resonates with you, as always, join. If not, let it fly. And if you want to become an accelerator members, you resonate with my energy, you want a community of like-minded souls, we have at least 4 live webcasts every month. We have a Q&A with myself. We have a member-to-member practice readings. That's where you can practice your psychic abilities working with other members. We have a movie metaphysics where we break down. We have a movie of the month, watch it, and we break it down on a live webcast. And we have an accelerator masterclass, which I will be doing one this month. And I'm actually doing it to complement what Jazz is doing, which brings to the next thing. We have a mediumship group led by jazzthemedium.com, where she's teaching her family how to tap into mediumship abilities. The masterclass I'm going to teach this month ties directly to that. So I'm looking forward to talking about that. Other than that, shout out to everybody that's joined us live. Shout out to everybody that's going to watch the playback. Until next time, Indra Ali signing out. Peace.